Good afternoon, folks. My name is Fred Honorado from Silanis. So before I start, I just want to kind of convey what we're seeing. We've been around for over 22 years, and we've seen electronic signature space start from before even the laws came into place till today. And what we're seeing, especially in the last 2 years, is a trend that our customers is asking for this technology. So what I'm going to convey today is more why Silanis versus other vendors that you're seeing out there. So there we go. So Silanis technology, so we've been around for over 22 years. We're the most experienced electronic signature solution out there in this market space. And just to give you a perspective of the usage of our technology, we're talking about 600 million documents annually going through our technology. You may have used our technology without necessarily noticing that it was Silanis, because we completely embed the signature process to our customer experience. And that's important to our customers, is it's not our process, it's our customer's process. Just your perspective as well too, a lot of the IT analyst firms out there in the market have rated electronic signatures and the vendors out there, and Silanis pretty much came on top in terms of leadership role in this electronic signature space. And I'll talk a little more about those vendors shortly. So we provide also the most flexible technology in terms of deployment. We can either deploy on-premise or on the cloud, on a SaaS model or private cloud. So basically tailoring to wherever you want to provide this technology and use this technology in your environment. What's really important here is the highest adoption rates. What's important is your success is our success. So these are some of the statistics we got from our customers based on really the usage of the technology through the various channels, because when you're dealing with customers, they might go to different channels, online, retail, face-to-face. It could be also as well to call center. And you've noticed here some of the percentage of when a customer says, yes, I'm doing business with you, I want to go through the process of signing documents. Basically, these are the rates that you're seeing right here. And as well too, third parties have talked to our customers and basically came out with very high statistics in terms of customer satisfaction, basically rating Silanis very well in terms of how we deliver and the usage of our technology. A little more on Forrester and G2 Crowd. I'll get to G2 Crowd, who they are and what they provide. So Forrester essentially evaluated all the vendors out there, and they determined that Silanis is definitely a key leader in this space. And some of the key factors, the 600 million documents annually was confirmed by Forrester. And in terms of what made Silanis different is essentially in terms of the electronic evidence, which I'll talk about a little later. What do you get in terms of the signature process? It's great to get signatures. I mean, there's a purpose for that, is when there's contracts and they're binding the signatures to the contracts. If there's no disputes, they just get put in a folder and they stay there for forever. But when there's a dispute, then the signatures matter. And what happens in case of a dispute where signatures are being questioned and what was agreed upon, that electronic evidence becomes really a key factor to making sure that the contracts hold in terms of those disputes. So that's one of the key factors. On G2 Crowd, so G2 Crowd, kind of similar to Forrester, but what they do is they don't analyze technologies as Forrester does. They just ask the customers' opinions, what they think of the vendors. And they came up with very interesting statistics in terms of customer satisfaction, which you're seeing right there on the screen, 97%. Also, they've asked us one specific question, which had to do with, I don't know if you're familiar with Net Promoter Score or NPS. NPS is essentially an index that measures customer loyalty. And it asks one very simple question. Would you recommend to your friends, peers, families and friends, this company or this technology or this product? We got 86 out of 100, 84 out of 100. And just to give you perspective, Google and Apple live and die by this index, and their index ranges around the low 60s. So our rating came extremely high, and we're very proud of that. And you got some statistics in terms of the usage, of course, the experience of the Silanis technology. We focus exclusively on the financial services and regulated industry like government and healthcare. To us, these industries are extremely important because they're faced with a lot of paperwork, a lot of documents, and of course, signatures attached to those documents. So being a heavily regulated industry, you're faced with disputes, audits, and to us, our key differentiator, which I'll get to a little later, matters to these organizations. So we focus exclusively on the needs of these industries to making sure that we meet those requirements and surpass them. There's some statistics at the very bottom in terms of usage and adoption. This is kind of like some statistics to provide the acceptance and the success of our technology being used with our customers. Here's some examples. I won't go through these customers, but as you can see here, great adoption by, if I look specifically at the financial services part, you can see that a lot of banks, insurance companies, financial services organizations have adopted and utilized our technology, as well as government too, as you can see some of the key. They were actually early adopters of our technology. The U.S. Army, just to give you perspective, is utilizing our technology to 1.6 million officers across the world, saving them $1.3 billion a year. So great adoption there. Here are your key differentiators, what really makes us different than other vendors. Won't go through much detail here. There's a lot of information that you can see right there, but essentially, these are key factors that our customers, that they care about. And I'll kind of actually elaborate a little on the electronic evidence piece, which is pretty much to protect you as an organization against the dispute, but as well too, adoption rates are extremely important to us and our customers, and that should be a consideration when you're considering this technology. So on the electronic evidence piece, what we do is we really essentially provide two groups of evidence. First and foremost is the document itself, a signed document. No different than what you're accustomed to in the paper world, but the way we verify and validate signatures is done within the Acrobat application. So essentially when you open up a signed PDF document, you click on the signature, and Adobe will validate and verify the signatures to you. So you're completely independent from Silanis once you've signed the document. So it's important to our customers in terms of independence from the vendors when the documents are signed. So essentially, when you go through a signing process with our technology and you've got the resulting signed document and it's completed, you do not need Silanis anymore in terms of the validation and verifications of the signatures. On the other side, there's always a process to get to that signed document in the first place. It's not about what happened and what occurred. We're able to capture that what process that occurred in terms of each of the transactions that are presented to signers. So we produce two groups of evidence. One is the actual report that generates the logs and events of that transaction. And secondly, we also capture screenshots of the signing process. This matters a lot to our customers because in case of, like I said, there's no disputes, nothing, the documents are put away, and the life is beautiful. But when you're in a case of a dispute, and one of our customers, an insurance carrier, has gone through this over 1 million times, where lawyers called in and find out what occurred because their customers were not happy in a situation where there was a claim, and the amounts that were giving out by the carrier were not necessarily satisfactory to the customer because they signed a waiver, waiving their rights to get additional coverage in terms of a medical claim. That's mostly the case. So when this carrier presented all this electronic evidence to the customer, in each of those over 1 million cases, the lawyers were overwhelmed, never expected that. They thought they even lost the documents, just to give a perspective how lawyers go into the process. In the end, only one case ended up in court. In that one case, the customer won, or our customer won. You come and see me at the booth, and we can talk about that in a little more detail. But the whole point is, it's the other cases that never ended up in court. And that matters to our customers. It matters in the financial services industry. You guys chase documents almost on a daily basis in terms of getting signatures. You're doing it for a purpose, and that purpose is to get a signature to capture intent. And if there's no point of capturing intent, you will not get those signatures and go through the process kind of more streamlined way. So that's why signatures matter. So I'm done. Thank you very much.